Hey gang, welcome back to Jade's Garage. Today's video, I'm going to work on test fitting the dash pad in the 68 Mustang known as Jade. If you like videos like this, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification to see more. And hit that like button. Thanks. Well, I'm making progress on the car. I have several videos already queued up that I'm working on editing and trying to get on YouTube, and it's just a continuing process right now. There's so many things that have to go on the car. One of those things is the dash pad. You probably saw a previous video where I took the dash pad out of the car. I have a brand new dash pad to put in, and I figured while I have the windshield out, this is the perfect time to test fit and modify if needed the dash pad. I also have to put in the center speaker. I have a dual cone speaker that I'm putting in, and I have to finish putting in the vents for the vintage air system. So once I get those vents in, I can also run the tubing for the ductwork and get all that done, just one thing after another. But at this point, I want to make sure that the dash pad will fit the car and that I'm not having to do anything later on after the windshield is in. So let me go over some basic stuff here. The vintage air kit comes with a duct for the driver's side and the passenger side. And you look at them and you think, well, what's the difference? The difference is the driver's side is a little bit different in shape than the passenger side, because when you put this together, it has to clear behind the instrument cluster. So this one with the kind of different offset is the driver's side. This one is the passenger side. Along with that, you get the center vent, and that will connect to your existing factory control or vent control, and that only fits one way. You can see there's the bolts are offset in the casting, so that only fits one way. So that addresses that. Now let me show you the speaker. I went with this retro sound dual cone, and it's supposed to fit directly in location to where that original speaker is. So I have to take that out of the way and get this in place. While I'm here, I'll show you that how this fits in. So the duct has to face to the front of the car, the connection point for the hose. If this were that other one, it would not fit because of this shape right here. The dash pad I'm using is from dashesdirect.com, or from NPD is actually who I ordered it from, and it comes well packaged. In fact, the box is triangular shape, just like the dash. So I've already had this on the car previously. I know it fits, but there are some modifications that have to be made around the VIN number for the car. So I can address that. And at this point, what I want to start doing is getting this stuff in place. Another thing I want to point out, when you're doing this, if you notice, I've already done some spray paint, but with the new dash in place, you can see through it, and you can see any kind of color. So if you've got overspray or anything like that underneath the dash in the vent area, just spray some black paint. If you're using a black dash pad, I'm assuming, spray some black paint and conceal that. Now I'll have to shoot this again because I ended up getting some compound and stuff on this. So I'm going to reshoot that with some paint and then start with the center speaker. Before I get too far along, let me show you some things. I cleaned up the center vent. I point out that it only fits one way, and that's good. This piece, the duct, attaches to that center vent. What you have to do though is use these little They call them S-clips for a good reason. The thing is, if you put this together outside the car, it won't fit through the dash. So you'll have to put these clips on you could probably put them on now, slip those in, and then once you get it in the car, you will slip this onto that and lock it on. Another thing I want to point out, if you look at the instructions for the vintage era, it talks about these hoses. Now, they ship you two different size hoses. They have a 2-inch and a 2.5 inch apparently. So the 2-inch, if you look, it fits, got a little material there, it fits onto these, the little mini ducts, really nice. I mean, and it's got little catch hooks on the edge here. So those fit that, and then what it says is the 2.5 inch will fit the vents on the sides of the dash, the one where the heater control is and the one all the way on the passenger side. I just want to point this out real quick. The ductwork requires one piece of 26 inches. This is a 2-inch stuff. One at 26, one at 14, and two at 20, which comes out to 80 inches. The hose they give you, if you stretch it out, which I did here, I can actually get 100 inches out of this at full stretch. So just know that as you go forward, there's plenty of material. Don't be concerned with trying to stretch it real tight and cutting it. You know, leave yourself a little slack. So a couple of observations. This driver's side windshield defrost duct, it calls for 26 inches, and I don't know why. You know, there it is, and it shows it in the picture going behind these two tubes, and it does, but it just seems awfully long. But I just put it in the way they said. Up here I have the insert, you know, the trim insert for the dash. This is just sitting here, and this is pretty snug fit right now, just trying to get it in. Part of that, I think, is that I don't have the dash pad set all the way forward, and part of that is because of the VIN number right here. So what you have to do is trim around where your VIN plate is. You may have to trim a little out of these corners because this is really, whoops, this is really square, you know, and the windshield frame is round. So you know, just slowly trim off pieces to where you can settle it in. Now this isn't fully in place, but this shows where you can see through and maybe able to see some of the black that I painted on the dash. So right now, you know, the pad looks good, but I'm going to do some trimming here and of course around the VIN plate so I can get it in there. I have trimmed out around the VIN number and also the corner here. I cut that, and all I used was a pair of side cutters, wire cutters, just enough to trim it around. So now this thing fits a lot better, comes up tighter as it should be. But I want to point something out. If you'll notice, I have tape at these locations. That is where the trim piece goes on the inside, and then I have marks with Sharpies. There's one there, one there. There's 4 of these. What that was there, you can see there are holes behind that. So there's a hole down low in the channel, whereas these are a little higher, the ones that go through the black trim piece. The ones that are lower are an anchoring screw, so they would have been like these. And what that did is when you had the dash all the way forward and down, you would run that anchoring screw in to hold the dash in place until later on, after the windshield was in, you could put in the trim pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and put the dash in because there's no reason I can't. Everything else is working out just fine. Now what I might do is I know that when I took this dash off, there was some glue or something right here. So I may add some glue right there. I know in the past I used actually some Flex Seal glue to put the plastic on the bottom of the cowl on this side when I did the AC. So maybe I'll just use some more of that stuff and put some glue just to kind of help it stay up there. And we'll see how that works. Okay, dash pad is in place. Seems to fit pretty nice. I did have to push it up around the center vent control. The only thing left to do is put on these two nuts and washers, and they go right here in the corner on the inside, of course. So I'll get those on each side, and really that's going to take care of the dash pad. Now later on, of course, when the gauge cluster goes in, there will be, you know, screws going through these holes up into the panel. On this side, of course, will be this trim piece. I guess I could probably put that in, and that's simple enough. It just has those hollow nuts that screw on there. Now, I do know you have to transfer, I think you have to transfer a little Mustang from your original piece, because I don't know if they sell that or not, but all I will do is take that out, transfer it, it just slips through and you fold it over, and that'll be it. One more thing that needs to happen is I need to assemble the glove box door to the actual box itself and get that into the car to help finish up the dash. So inside of this box I have 6 screws. Now these are the screws that hold this to the door. There should be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's 2 more that hold the latch device to the glove box itself. So I need to clean this up and then reassemble it. You'll notice inside there's a sticker here. It looks like it is for your tires. F7014 was the original size on this car, and it says radial ply tires. I guess it's talking about air pressures. I can't read it all, but anyway, maybe I need to replace that sticker at some point, but for now I'm good with that. The repainted glove box door looks fantastic. Really simple. Glove box is going to sit basically on the door, and then those screws just go in. And of course the latch mechanism. So you have to allow some room there for that to stick out. That's it. I'll also point out there's a hole on the side here that is for your light. So if you have one, what I might do at this point is just take some black paint on a brush and just touch up these screws so they look nice. Other than that, it's ready to go in. So the glove box is installed. All the vents are installed except for the driver's side. And as I was mentioning earlier, I was missing this little elbow that connects to the vent and to the hose. And I was digging around and I found the old hoses. So that's what connects that hose to that vent. The only issue that I have, I mean, obviously I still have to finish building the cluster, putting in the radio, that sort of thing, but I'm going to stop with this segment. But on the glove box door, if you'll notice, you can probably see that vent hose. That's the one that goes to the defrost. And when I first tried to put the door in, that was in the way slightly, and I had to push it up to get it out of the way. So what I may do is find a way. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff to connect to normally underneath this dash, holes or whatever. I will tie that up slightly so it's out of the way. Now I still have to put in little things like the bumpers, you know, and I have to put them in for the ashtray, which I have. Those are pretty simple. You know, wherever you put those in, they have a pointy end to them. You just push them through the hole, grab it from the back, pull and wiggle a little bit, and they'll pop right in. So I think it's looking pretty good. Again, I have to work on that side and get all that stuff done, but I am happy with the way this looks. So that'll be it for the dash vent video that I've made, and I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. By all means, hit that thumbs up button, and I hope this has helped you with your project. Until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya.